Hey guys, this is Brian. This is Minor Disturbance Radio, and I had the intentions when I put shows together here that I was going to run for about 30 minutes. Boy, was I wrong, because I got in the studio with 3YearsHollow here, and Tony and Jose were very, very courteous. These guys came in here and they didn't want to hold anything back. I asked them if there was anything they didn't want to talk about, and they said, "We will talk about anything. This is a tell-all. We're not afraid of anything. Our fans are our fans, and we just want to be ourselves. This is our hometown," and they gave me that kind of interview. So, but looking back on some of the footage here, I realized that we had to have sat here for about 3 hours talking straight and drinking beer, and just having to have a good time and talking about the business, and there wasn't any really thought out questions or anything. It just kind of went where it went. So I ended up having to edit it down, and I apologize for having to take some things out, but I couldn't run a 3-hour show here. So, but I do realize that I have enough material for a couple shows, and when maybe we'll put out the other half of the material at a later date. But right now, this is what I came up with. This is what I have as an edited show for the 3YearsHollow episode on Minor Disturbance Radio. Welcome to Minor Disturbance Radio. We want to thank Bent River Brewery for the Uncommon Stout tonight. We're going to sit and drink some beers and talk to Jose and Tony from 3YearsHollow.
Check it out.
Hello.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Yeah, so first of all, what's it like to be so kick-ass?
Next question.
I've known Tony for a long time. You and Jose got together and started the band Hollow. How long ago was that?
It's 11 years ago. Maybe close to 12 now. I was 17 when I met Tony. Tony was experienced in writing songs and everything, and he opened me up as like a vocalist, because I go back and I listen to some of the old demos we did, and I'm like, I don't even sing anything like I sing now, and I realize it's because he got me out of that comfort zone. He was able to shape me since I was so young.
Really? So he had a lot to do with the way that you sing?
Oh yeah, I've been realizing that a lot more actually. That my voice has changed due to his influence and everything.
That's really cool, because I would have, seeing the band, I would assume that nothing against Tony, but guitar players can riff all they want, but a band lives and dies by its singer.
Yeah.
And I would think that you would have known you had a voice to begin with, and then found a kind of situation that fit you.
I did. I mean, I knew I had a voice and everything, but I was so inexperienced with my voice. And every time we'd go into a studio to record an album, Tony would be like, "No, man, I think you're just missing that delivery or that power behind it." And then I would reach a little bit deeper for it, and it would come out and be like, "Oh, I can do this," and then that, So
what do you think, Tony? I mean, what were you hearing in his voice that was making you put the time into that?
When I first met him, he was really, really soft-spoken. He learned how to scream. Eventually, learned how to sing. Like you've.
Yeah. I was never really singing with my diaphragm and all that stuff. But that's basically that moment in my life is what changed my direction of singing, and that's when I got a little more toward the aggressive stuff.
What made you want to sing? What was the band that made you decide that you wanted to sing?
I've been singing my whole life, I guess,
Don't lie, it was Dave Lee Roth, wasn't it? You saw the Jump video and you were like, I want to do that. But
it's probably sad that I probably to this day still have not seen that video.
We'll get to that later. Yeah, young whippersnapper.
So what did you start singing with, or what?
This is funny. I told myself that we might as well just reach into everything on this interview. So when I was young, I grew up with the Mickey Mouse Club, man, and so I sang all those songs, and Michael Jackson and Boyz II Men were two of the real early where I got a lot of my melodic influence from, and then bands like Seven Dust and Creed came out, and those were the two bands that basically defined what I was going to do.
That's so cool. And for anybody that happens to press play on this this radio video that we're doing, radio video. See, that's the era. I'm so old. I can't tell the difference between video and radio. So I called it radio. But basically, these guys, they're just talking like we're hanging out and we're having beers, and that's it. That's one thing that I liked about you. When a band starts to take off, I'm surprised that you guys aren't more egotistical or.
I mean, it's all about the the support for all the bands of keeping everybody together.
That's what I appreciate about you guys is, you know, when you showed up here, you weren't acting like, and I would be probably, I'll be honest. I used to be that kind of a guy, but now I'm old and I've given up on that. Now I got to be nice to people. So
I think it's a lot to do with like the age of, you know, where we are in our careers. We've been working so hard for so long that it's like now that we're in this position, you know, we don't take anything for granted, you know. Sure. It's all fleeting. You never know how long it's going to last, and, you know, why develop an ego if it's just going to disappear tomorrow?
You know, I find it hard to even get an ego, because when you realize after you go out and you can tell the difference between the genuine fan and someone that's saying, oh yeah, you know, that's good. Like people, when they come up and they genuinely are like, wow, you know, I really like this, and they know your name and everything. It's like, you know, it just makes you smile.
I noticed you didn't list your first CD, Mesh, on your discography on your site. What's up with that?
The reason why we don't talk about it is because, you know, back in the day when we came out with that album, we really thought as young kids that we're just going to blow up tomorrow. You know, we're going to record this album.
Well, who didn't?
Well, right. But, you know, you don't think about the things that you think about now, like we really need to get these songs to where they need to be before we go into the studio. It was a completely different band. You know, me and Tony are the only original ones from that group. Right. When we changed the name, it was kind of like this is a new beginning for us, and
well, we worked on our craft as far as writing together, because the Ascension album was like back and forth instead of just, you know, I got some music. It was like, let's try and craft songs, and the same thing we did with Remember.
So every song you guys write together, or you bring ideas together? It's all one.
Majority of the songs usually start.
Yeah.
But at first it was Tony bringing riffs to you, and then you finding a way to get lyrics in it, right?
The progression has been, we started off with Mesh, is like there was just pieces of music, and I would just write vocal lines over it. And then with Ascension, you know, I started playing guitar, and I would come up with riffs and bring, you know, almost complete songs with vocal lines to him and the band would just kind of fill it in and help us piece it together. And then, you know, now, and Tony never really dove into the vocal side of stuff back then, other than, you know, like, maybe you should try this or this. But for Remember and the stuff that we're doing now, we've kind of become a team, even with the lyrics. You know, like, we talk about, what do we want this song to be about? What do we want to say with this song? And we usually, you know, bounce things off back and forth with each other until the song is done.
We're fortunate to look at it like each guy in the band comes from a completely different background. So it's like,
as far as influences,
yeah.
And style.
And let's say, for example, like I come to practice, or I got a song I want to do. We worked out a little demo. Band's got it. They heard it. I trust in the fact that Kush and Neil and Dex and everybody in the band are good musicians, and they're gonna only make it better. You know what I mean? Like, and they'll hear something that you know, I wouldn't have heard. You know, same works with him and I when we're
past members, and even current members will tell you in the past, when I would bring a song, when I hear a song or when I have an idea for a song, I automatically almost have the entire song in my head. Like, I can hear the guitars, the bass, the drums.
Well, and you can tell they're just honest. It's honest music.
And there's hook.
I wasn't always the most easy songwriter to get along with, though, because a lot of the times I would bring something to the band and we would be going through it, and I would be like, no, let's just do it my way. And I'd kind of become, you know, a little bit of a control freak when it comes to the songs. But I think now, as we've been together for a long time, we kind of, like Tony said, just trust. No matter what drum beat I come up with in my head, Chris is going to make it better, you know? I come up with crazy stuff almost sometimes just to see if Chris can play it, and he plays it every single time.
That's not very nice.
He's going to look at us and be like, you guys are trying to kill me.
So what are your influences then, Tony?
I'm a sucker for good singers. You know, I like.
Who's your favorite singer besides your singer?
I can't pick. I got some favorites.
Throw a couple out.
All right, since we're being honest, I guess
We're being honest.
tell-all.
Yes.
Let me think who I can admit to.
Oh, no.
Guilty pleasure. I think Richard Marx is a fantastic singer, musician. Most people don't, you know.
I remember you saying that before. I found that really odd.
He's a great songwriter. He had a bunch of good. I like the piano and the sax and all that. But
I'm Instagramming. That's why I'm over here.
You're fine, Jose. You know what? I'm glad to have you guys here. You can text away. You just can't say finna or it's mines in my studio, and I'm not allowing any of that. And that cleared the room, didn't it?
Problem.
Yeah. So what do you think of that delicious beverage from Bent River?
hold on a second.
Let me try this.
What can't we say?
I'm finna or it's mines.
Yeah, we don't talk like that.
If we go out to the East Coast, we end up talking like this the entire time. You can't even turn it off.
Did you guys pick that up when you were
It
out
was
there?
awful. I was talking like this on stage, and I didn't even mean it.
Really? You're like, yeah, this next one. Hey,
I'm like, this next song is called
Vinny.
Suffer. And I'm like, I don't even know why I have this accent. It just came from nowhere.
But that's what I was getting to. I was getting to the tour thing, because I'm amazed by this, because of course I've always wanted to do something like that, and you guys jump out there and do it. When you guys were getting into the RV and heading to that first show, I mean, what was going through your head? And you knew that you had like what 20 behind it, right?
Well, yeah, I mean,
It was a 2-day trip to the first show.
That's crazy.
That whole experience right there was actually the pivotal moment, for the band, because we always thought that, back in the day, you could just have an album and you could send it off to everybody, and if they liked it, they would just sign you and put you on the road. But
and you guys probably tried that technique, right? Everybody has.
We did, but we really didn't. We never really tried. We focused so much on, we thought that we could just practice and go out and play every, podunk show that we could, which you need to, you need to play every single show that you can. But sooner or later, you have to try to direct your resources in the most important place. And we know the industry now, and pretty much it is said, and it is, unless you're touring, nobody's going to take you seriously, You can have a single on the radio, but why push it, really push it if you're not out there supporting it?
It's like hiring somebody, sight unseen.
Exactly.
Hey, we're going to put some money into you guys' band, and then when we put you on the road, we're going to find out that your guitar player is married and his wife won't let him leave.
Right.
Or
Everything
something like
could
that.
blow up, in the first month of touring if you're a band that's never been out there. But
and on that subject, I mean, I know that you're a married man, Jose, and you have a daughter and another one on the way, another child.
Yep.
Same with me. I have a daughter, and the fact of the idea of me taking off and chasing that right now, I wouldn't have the same support, I don't think, that you have. Has that been a battle in your marriage? Has it been? Because I mean, what is it? Obviously, it takes. It's a lot of pressure.
My whole life, since I've been aiming for this since I was 17. Pretty much every relationship I ever got in, almost the first thing that I said was, what I do, that is my dream, that is my goal. That is what I'm going to focus most of my time and energy to. And anybody that wasn't on board, obviously I'm not. I'm not with them anymore. But Jessica, my wife, when I told her that, she was completely fine with it. And I've been with her for 7, almost 8 years. And she's been, obviously I've been in the band for a little bit. So she's been with the band for 7 years. And when it came time for us to go on the road, she's like, I'm just as much a part of this dream as you are. So, of course, do it.
Absolutely beautiful. And, you know that 90% of the time, that's going to be somebody that agrees with it until it is happening.
It happens, right.
You know what I mean? And then once it's real...
Yeah.
Then it's like all of a sudden they don't trust who you are and what you've grown up, the kind of person that you are.
Yeah, it's far from easy too. I mean, because we are an independent band, we're doing this all on our own, so there's no label tour backing behind it. she's taking care of everything. All of our respective girlfriends are taking care of everything when we're on the road, so it's a hard thing.
Speaking of that, she's part of a close network of friends and family, people that quote unquote work for us or whatever. There's no way we could do this without them. Like, Vance, I'm just gonna say that now and get out of the way. Vance was our driver, and I don't know, he's the man. He's just Vance, and that guy.
When he came into the situation about 6 years ago, like, that was a turning point too, because I was the type of person that would say I was going to do something, but unless I really had like a support person next to me, like really fine with me, I never really did it. And when Vance came in, I would say I need to do this, and he would make me do it. You know, he kind of became my manager at that time and made me get the things done that I said I was going to do. And you know, he repairs almost everything that breaks, you know, and that's I mean, the tour would have been stopped 3 times had we not had him with us, you know, I can tell you,
I was glued to the Facebook waiting for you guys to say, you know, like I say, I have to live vicariously through you guys, you know, because I never got a chance to do that. And to see you guys get a chance to go out there and take some steps, you know, at first I was jealous as shit. You know, I wanted to hate you guys. I wanted your tour bus to blow up as soon as you left town, right? Seriously though, I mean, you know, a real man can turn jealousy into an inspiration. And when I see it happening in front of me, I go, you know what? It's just not 5 guys that are going to go out and do this. There's a group of people that lives make change in this, you know.
Every time I say, like, to somebody that's helping the band, you know, I mean, you're affecting 50 to 100 people, you know, somehow, you know, directly, indirectly.
Absolutely. And the reason I said that, Tony, is because you remember when you saw us opening for Motley Crue, you told me at our friend's house, you were like, I hated you, man.
I bet you both. We were like, just mother. See, you still think you were like, it was horrible, and you guys sounded so. You guys look like you were it, dude.
Well, that's because
you guys had your hair, you were flipping it, you guys were. And we were sitting there going,
I hate them, man. I hate them. Yeah, I know.
I remember him. I sat behind him. I sat in front of him in school.
I know. You were telling me that, and I was going, God, you were there, ick, man. You know what I mean? Because, you know, anyway, so now it's your turn to be the guy that, you know, everybody's jealous of. So, and congratulations on that. You guys definitely deserve it. It's not, you know, not like it's happened overnight. You know, it's not like you guys got a cool haircut and, you know, because let's face it, back in, what was it, like in the, well, I got Billy Pfeiffer coming in soon, but I'll talk to him about what it was like back when they first put their first records out, because that was unheard of.
You know what I mean? Just listening to some of their stuff on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
yeah, like Surprise, Surprise, and
yeah. You know, that's all really. Think about the time. You know what I mean? To have your own record back then is, you know, that was it. You were substantial then. People were like, well, they have their own record. You know what I mean? Yeah. And now everybody can do a record.
The only reason we're here is because of the fact that we were able to make our own record. You know.
Well, not only that, but I have a theory, and my theory is that back then, if you had a record, that made you viable in the market. You know, you could tell your buddies, we're doing a record. And they're like, whoa, how'd you do that? Because nobody understands how you do it. Now, everybody can make a record. Now, what makes somebody viable is to write a good song and make a kick-ass video for it.
That's absolutely true.
And put a little money into it and make a professional video. Not just clips of you guys playing at the Yankee Clipper or the Doodle Dandy or whatever, you know, but a real video.
So who did do the video? Where was that at?
We met a director named Davo, who's actually originally from Florida but relocated to the Quad Cities. He was working with us and Mindset Evolution. Like, those were the 2 bands that he found right when he came into town. And he heard the song, and, you know, like most of the people that have come around us that are supporting us like crazy, he wanted to get in on something from the ground floor and really be a part of something. And he has, with the videos, he's actually done 3 for us so far. We did 3 in a year, which, like I mean, that's kind of almost unheard of. Even big bands don't put out that many videos in a year, and that automatically put us on that level. Like, we were a real band, we were a viable band.
Absolutely. Because as soon as I saw that video, I knew that, you know, first of all, Dave was not messing around.
No, not at all.
Second of all, it made you guys look, it catapulted. I mean, the song already is amazing. It gives me goosebumps just thinking about it. Oh, yeah. But the song is amazing. and then to put the video to it, and just the you know what I mean. We all want to be in a video and look all cool and shit. You know what I mean? And you guys, Tony was only in it for 3 seconds.
Yes, I was like, I'm not even in the video. So
I was thinking, that again, Tony's a better man than me. He can listen to criticism. He can have people write with him, and he can be in his own video for 3 seconds.
It's an ongoing joke, actually. We're the third. We're about to be the 4th video in, and every time we go to start filming one, Tony asks the director Davo, he's like, "Can I be in this video?"
Like, all right.
What was the problem, Tony? Was there no footage they could use? Or?
I sat there for a little bit of the editing, and I get it, because I mix albums.
I wasn't ready to release Blue Steel yet.
You were gonna unleash the fury on the next video, right?
You've got all this footage, right, from like 4 different cameras, and you're going through and you're picking out all the cool pieces that you want to be part of the edit.
Sure.
And then you get to the very end, and you've got a full video, and then you realize that you haven't even looked at Tony's footage.
Right.
So you're like, oh shit, I got to go back and I got to find pieces, and that.
So where was the video done at then?
It was done in Davenport.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I was down in right downtown Davenport at Clemmy's Custom Cars.
I've been down there.
We
I
actually
think,
did 2.
We shot Chemical Ride twice. Yeah.
because Dave also shot another band for another band.
That's Mindset Evolution.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that down there too?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. Because I was like, I recognize that
3
area.
different floors of the shop were used for 3 different videos.
Really?
There's 3 floors to it, and the first floor is all the cars in the shop where Mindset Evolution shot theirs. The second floor is completely empty. It looks like a big open warehouse. That's where we shot
Right.
ours, and then you can go on the roof, and that's where we shot the first video for Chemical Ride, but the whole video was completely scrapped.
The first take was cold and rainy and just wet and.
Oh yeah, the first video. When we shot it on the roof, it was snowing, it was raining, and it was freezing cold, and it was just
blankets and.
It was the opposite of the video out in the middle of the field, right?
Right, yeah.
That was just hot and itchy.
Yeah, hot and itchy. I can imagine, because people, when you see the video, it looks really cool, But hey, if you ever wonder what that's like, stop your car on the highway sometime and just run out into the field on a 105-degree day and see how that feels.
Yeah, for sure. And do
and hang out and do rock poses
of a song.
Yeah, and look cool while you're doing it too, right?
I'm sweating. I'm like, this is gonna be on in the video? My whole shirt was soaked with sweat.
Them little spiky things that you throw at people, or you get stuck in your socks and shit that are in the bushes?
Yeah.
You guys are all trying to look cool. I know them are all over in the
I
pants.
still have a jacket. We filmed that video how long ago? Maybe like 7 months. I have a jacket where they're still not out of the jacket. They're still in the arms of the jacket.
Look how much fun Jeff's having.
Take it all in.
Loving this.
I'm just taking it all in.
My name tag fell over. What kind of... Hold on a second. It's a great video. Show the video. We love the video.
Let's watch it together right now, and then can you guys talk us through it and tell what you remember about doing it?
About doing the video? Cool. Yeah, Tony's not going to talk at all.
You got a teleprompter?
Right here, boom. We come over here from the behind.
I get the whole touching the forehead thing.
Yeah, that was the director's idea. That was a cool idea. We had to establish the fact that he definitely knew she was pregnant.
Oh yeah.
You know what's new? This is our first video, so when we saw it for the first time, we were like, our minds were blown. We've never been in a video. Oh, it's very well done.
My favorite part of the video is when he goes,
Listen, you get up the Apple Register there.
There it is. It's big high note. There's this moment here, dude, like when I saw it for the first time, it was instant goosebumps right there. Garlish is walking.
Absolutely.
The best of this ride.
Did you get it? Yeah. All right.
that's not in the video, people.
Let's pour some of this beer. Should I
Good
take
idea.
it from here?
Which one you want?
Which-
There's two different kinds.
What kind of?
We got Uncommon Stout over here, little coffee beer.
Both from Bit River.
Jameson Oak Irish Stout.
Delicious.
Oh, that's way better.
I don't know
You're listening to Minor
So-
Disturbance.
I say
This-
try that.
that's right.
Yeah, let's try this one. I don't want to.
All right, I'll fire it up.
Fellas,
That is loud.
Now it's loud, yeah.
the microphone is loud.
Now you don't have to jump on it. Now you guys can talk from where you're at. Yeah.
It's good.
Because I was looking at the levels, I was thinking,
I can talk like this, and you'll still hear me.
I can talk.
I can hear your thoughts. That was, who did the walking impression? Was that you? You do a great walk.
That's hot, Mike. Turn it down, and I'll stab you in the neck. Sorry, man.
What crippled us a lot in our early career was a lot of being afraid to say what you really want to say, and being too nice and being too afraid to make decisions because you'll hurt, the drummer's feelings or the bass player's feelings. Like, it's all about, we never really said, if we're going to do this, let's do this and make the decisions we need to make to get there. We were just always too afraid to make those decisions, and then after we had been doing it for so long, we were like, we got to do it now or it's never going to happen. And that's when everybody kind of started being honest with each other, and we got all of our issues worked out, and the members came together like they have, and that's why we're so close right now.
So where'd you write Chemical Ride?
I was over to Jose's house one day, and his wife was having like a Tupperware party, and I've been trying to get him to hear this for like a while. And I'm like, dude, come here. And I played him the
on an acoustic guitar, actually, in my living room.
And then he kind of like a melody. I can't remember what it was, but just the same melody, just different.
He did
lyrics.
like and I'd be like and we just kind of wrote the chorus right there in my living room, and then took it to the band.
And see, I had that. It hits the first fret down there like that, it'd be a D, I guess, but then it's like an open G string. It's got like a dissonant note. That's what I liked about it the most when it had it. And so I'm sitting there. You know how it is when you're sitting there and you're like, I got this riff going and going. If I don't do something with it, I can't write anything else because it's just going to be stuck here in my head.
Sure. And I'm mad because I didn't come up with it. You know what I mean?
It's funny how something so simple can be so catchy and amazing. But
we honestly we don't ever try to. We just write music we like to hear and we like to play.
Anything that's on radio, I've usually gravitated to. So the things that I naturally write kind of fit with that,
Sure.
That.
Well, you come with a different sensibility than Tony, and Tony's more in touch and kind of brings the whole. There was a song I'm trying to think of that you have kind of like this '80s riff almost going on. And
Right, wasted. It's like a Steve.
It is. That's the one. But nobody's going to notice that but me, and only because I know you and your background. And I'm thinking, he came up the same way.
Nobody's going to notice that, but a very prominent record label noticed that 80s sound in the songs, and that was something that they really loved.
Really? Yeah. Because when Drop Hammer was doing that in 96, that was something that everybody fucking hated.
No, well, now in 2013, there's a little bit of a resurgence in that. So
I guess, man. So
yeah,
I wrote it in 2007.
Well, here, we wouldn't be sitting here right now because I remember, and I'm not trying to, by any means, this is just funny to me because when you guys had, when Luke, I think, quit as a guitar player or whatever happened with that, I was talking to Tony and he had mentioned to me, he's like, you know, would you be interested in me, you know, coming and trying for 3 Years Hollow? And I was like, and I remember I had to dig down and be really honest about shit.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking in my head, like, yeah, man. But I knew that I wouldn't bring anything to the band that would be, you know, useful. You guys understand, it would be, I would like look like this fat Ingve Malmsteen guy with long hair, you know, and I told Tony this, I was like, you don't want me, dude. I'm like old and fat, and I would just want to shred all the time. And then, like, you know, so you need a guy that's like got like a mohawk and tattoos all over the place. I remember saying this to you, and then pretty soon I see you guys playing again, and you know, and Neil's and
basically we needed to look like a real band, and before Neil joined, we didn't really.
Right.
We needed to look like a rock band, and then Neil joined, and we had instant street cred.
Right, absolutely.
Because Neil was like a rock star.
And what a good guy too. You know,
yeah,
that's what
awesome.
I mean. Everybody I've talked to, I haven't talked to the bass player much. I haven't talked to him, but I've talked to everybody in the band. Of course, Kush and, you know, and Neil and you guys, and everybody's just so like nice, you know what I mean? It's never the first subject of like, hey, what's up, man? And then, oh yeah, we're going on tour, you know. it's never been that, you know. Yeah, I can go up to Neil and be like, hey, what's up, dude? And he'd be like, yeah, I kind of got gas, you know. Kind of, and that's what's cool about, you know, everything is you guys are keeping a level head. It's because you're from the Midwest, you know what I mean?
When somebody comes up to you and says, this piece of music helped me get through this time in my life, and they're not talking about something that's little, they're talking about a serious moment in your life, you're like, okay, everything makes sense, you know. That's.
Do you remember the message that we just seen?
Yeah.
It was a cool one. It was really cool.
Yeah, we get emails all the time from people that have the bravery to reach out and tell us how our music has impacted them in some way, and reading those are the most amazing things, man, because you sometimes start to get disconnected from it, and then you realize, like, this is why you're doing it.
A guy wrote us and said, hey, just wanted to, he was like, to whom may concern, whatever. He's like, I just finished running the half marathon in New York, whatever, and every time I felt like stopping, I play your song, remember, you know. And he's like, he was talking about the words, which is earlier when we were talking about this. This is when we sat down to write, like, you know, let's tell this story. That's exactly the kind of impact we thought we wanted to have. And the guy said, you know, I had it on, it helped me cross the finish line, and I was like, it's pretty cool, you know.
Me, I've never been a really good storyteller when it comes to lyrics or songs. I've never been able to put myself in another position or just pick a topic and tell a story about it. I've always had to talk about things that were close to me that I had experience with. So
yeah, you sounded pretty angry there early, you know. So what's going to happen? Here's the story. What's going to happen when you guys actually get something and you guys are driving around in Lamborghinis, you know, and all that stuff, and you have the big houses and the. Well, what's going to happen then? What are the songs going to sound like?
I don't know. I mean, Chemical Ride was kind of, or not Chemical. The whole EP, the Remember EP that has Chemical Ride on it, was wrote at a time where we were a little less pissed off at the world. You know, we had, like with Remember, we sat down and we're like, what story do we want to tell? What do we want to leave behind? And we're like, well, how will you be remembered? You guys are getting pushed really hard on satellite radio now, on
Octane.
Very
So yeah, see, you're supposed to be my. You were late on that
I was
one.
a little late.
You know,
I'm catching
Jesus
up. Catching
Christ.
up.
He's supposed to be my fact finder here because I'm really slow at remembering names and things like that. It's not because I don't respect people. It's just because I've sat next to a lot of people that do drugs. Never
There's a
done
lot
it
going.
myself.
You have a lot to process. You can't think about the details
Yeah,
sometimes.
it's been a long career. So anyway, so what I was really surprised about was why Chemical Ride isn't the vehicle that's being pushed on XM radio. Is that something that you guys could elaborate on? Or
Yeah, we didn't have a choice on that one, actually. We originally hired radio promoters to push Chemical Ride. And we're this band that nobody's heard of, and we're trying to push this song, and people hear it, and we always question, why aren't they playing it? So we sent the music to Sirius, and Octane comes back and they say, you're going to start seeing airplay for a song called Remember. And we're like, okay, but that's not the song that we were pushing. But now, for a long time we were always like, God, they don't like it, the music's not good enough, why aren't they playing Chemical Ride, And then they start playing Remember, and that song, to me, now kind of makes sense. Like, it's a song that's kind of a good intro to who we are. And then Chemical Ride will come next, and we've already got that, fan base on Remember, and Chemical Ride can be bigger than...
Sure.
And Remember made it to 4 on the big ones?
Yeah, because there's some label interest that they want that song. They want the song. Like, they don't want us to do anything with it on our own until we sign, and then they can do something with the song.
Okay. Well, I don't know anything about that stuff. All I'm saying is, as knowing when that came out, I was like,
Yeah.
they're gone.
Trust me, man. We absolutely
and nothing against Remember, because that's a great tune too.
Yeah.
Because it grew on me. But that song took me 4 listens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chemical Ride, I knew halfway through the first time I heard it,
Right.
it was a hit song.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes, though, songs that are like that you hear for the first time, and they're immediately like the candy to your ear, they
Right.
wear off quick.
Right.
You notice that you hear something like, this is cool, and then probably about like 20 minutes, 20 times after it, you're like, I don't want to hear it again. Chemical Ride's not one of them. It still hangs on. It sounds like you've heard it for 20 years and you still love it.
Right.
It's a song that it just has its own thing going. That hook is just tremendous on it.
I still like the song.
Yeah.
You've been.
It's got to be a blast to play it, man.
Not that you don't like playing songs, but you play them every night. Or you play them for years and years and years, and it's like, but this song still never gets old.
We definitely
To me.
feel like it's a special song. Like, it is one that could take us places, and everybody that's been a prospective producer or a label or manager, they all agree that that's definitely a special song.
I wanna be your chemical ride and how I love the things you say to me. Wake up, go live your life. I'll be the best on
The thing
this
about
ride.
this is it could be a long road. We could continue this fight for a while and maybe not ever be heard by the right person, or radio never pick it up. But if one program director at a radio station picks it up, and then 4 program directors see that guy picked it up, and it spreads, it can happen like that. Chemical Ride could take off, sell 1 million copies in a week, and just, that's it. You're automatically there.
Done. Me and Pfeiffer talked about it. The way we came up in the business, one hit song.
Yeah.
Think about how many in the 80s and 70s and even 90s there was bands with one song.
That's all it takes.
That put them away. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's like that anymore, but it could be because you're selling individual songs. So let me ask you this: if Chemical Ride sold 1 million, downloads right now, what would that mean to you guys?
$700,000.
$700,000 split 5 ways?
Probably more like 7. We pay out to the people that help us and everything like
So
that.
everybody in the band is an equal cut.
Yeah, we haven't really. Nobody from the band has ever been paid a cent so far in the 7 years that we've been a band. We've never been paid for a show. Never been paid to play. All the money that we've ever made has gone into a band account to further the band.
Give in to me and tell me I'm right. I wanna be your chemical ride and how I love the things you say to me. Wake up, go live your life. I'll be the best on this ride and how I love the way.
So have you guys seen a difference in the way that you're treated in public yet, or?
We have it to some degree. we're all really weird when it comes to stuff like
You're
that.
turning
though.
red right now, by the way,
Yeah, man.
Jose.
'Cause people,
I noticed that.
people,
There's just a lot more questions.
yeah. Well, I mean, people come up to you and they tell
can
you all
imagine.
these things, and you're just like, well, you feel weird accepting the compliments and everything like that. You know, we're just writing music that we love, you know, and you guys happen to love it, and that's awesome.
So are these the same modest guys that we're going to see 4 years from now when you're
Absolutely not.
no, you're going to be like, did you get me the green M&Ms, you bastard? Yeah, I can see what's coming.
Yeah.
You guys are acting all nicey nice now, but, you know, no, I think that you guys would be the same guys. You know why? Like I said, you guys came from the Midwest. You came up through the roots. You remember what it's like to work all day and to wish that
things
you
are
weren't.
a lot different now too than they used to be. You know, rock stars aren't so much immortalized like they were back in the day. You know, we're a lot more connected with social networking these
And
days
for
than
me-
we were before.
For me,
you know?
I mean, just one example. You see how Axel, I love Axel, but his attitude, it's like, that turns me off. It doesn't want to
It's turned
see.
a lot
I
of
mean,
people
and
off.
anybody
Yeah.
who's ever been, I mean, everybody has their bad days, but you know, let's say you go to meet somebody, you get shunned by somebody.
And
it's
everybody's
like,
got that story, too, you know?
You know, yeah, a lot of people do.
Yeah.
I've been fortunate. I don't have anybody.
By the time I met my idol,
I also.
you know, they've met millions of fans already, and he already had his practice little thing said to. So you know, you're getting the whole. I would have liked to have met him right when it was happening, when they're still excited about it. Like, I don't know, you know, like, hey, you're so and so, and like, I know it's cool, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know what to do, man. This is cool. But now it's just this rehearsed over and over thing that you get from people, and I hope.
Yeah, well, we hope that because we love it so much and because we worked for so long and didn't get anywhere, that we'll always remember, you know, what it feels like to be in this position. So
Absolutely.
we've always just, as a group and a whole, and even as people, even outside the band, we try to be real, try to be honest, and like, you know, it's like, what do we say? Say what you feel, you know. When that person comes up and it's like, you know, I shake their hand, give them a hug, and it's like, you know, it means a lot to us that you do, you know.
Well, when you showed up tonight, Tony, I haven't seen you in a long time. And as a matter of fact, when you guys came off the road, you know, and all that, and I went to Ribco and checked you guys out to benefit there, you know, it was. I was worried about what it would be like to talk to you again, you know, because sometimes, like I said, people get caught up in this whole thing, you know.
You guys fired me from third rail, is that why?
Did you get fired? I wasn't in the band when that happened, so I'm lucky to have the gig. Let me tell you. So you're saying that you're going to make, if you were to make money in this business nowadays, you would make it on the road more than record sales?
Yeah, that's really the only way that bands really survive now, is on the road, touring and merch
Merch, like shirts and selling your CD face to face.
publishing deals for, you know, like movie soundtracks and stuff like that. That's still
So you guys have talked to record labels, right?
yeah.
Okay, so if say for example, because a lot of people don't even get to the door of the business to find out what it's really about, and the people that might be listening to this might be interested to know that in this economy and the way it is right now, it used to be you get signed, you put out a record, you make millions, and then you're done. Nowadays, you could do a record, and you tell us about what the business landscape looks like for a band like you guys. I mean, where are you going to make or break yourself?
Well, I mean, the hardest thing for us is just getting yourself in front of the people.
And it's easy to do these days, right? I mean, with YouTube and all this stuff.
It is. The problem is just it takes a lot of money to be able to put yourself in the position to be shown to 1 million people, or to have your music be heard by 1 million ears. You know, like, that's what a label or financial backing can do for you is, hey, you've got a good product, here's $500,000. They know that if they get you in front of 100,000 people, they're gonna make that money back. But
Well, and a lot of people don't understand, when you get signed to a record label, you have to pay the initial investment back with your sales, correct?
Yeah.
Or is that something that you get to pocket?
well, back in the day, you know, the way that it was the only way that a record label could make money back was off of album sales. Like, they would give you an advanced, and they didn't touch any of your merch, they didn't touch anything else. The only way that they made their money back was off of sales of your album. But now, they take a piece of everything. They take a piece of your merch, take a piece of your booking, take a piece of your album sales.
So you could literally sign your business away. I mean, you could have a product that sells well and sign the wrong deal and make
Right.
out with nothing.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Or you can keep it independent and do it yourself, and the process may be slower.
And that's where I see you guys. I kind of see you. I see you guys kind of being smart, because I can tell, Jose, that you've done your homework in the business. And that's another thing too, is when you don't know what you're going up against in this business, you don't stand a chance.
Right.
Because a lot of times, any band around here would have been chomping at the bit to sign a deal. Deal. Any deal.
Didn't matter.
We're signed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Signed to what? You know what I mean? Signed to, you get to play for free all the time while somebody else makes money? Or are you smart about it and say, hey, no, we have a product here that we can sell. If we just stay diligent and we stay at it, we can make some money at this. Do you want to sign a smaller deal and make more money on your own? Or do you want to sign a big deal and be known to more people but make less money? I mean, I think that's probably the crossroads you guys are going to be at some point.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough question. I think for us, what we'd really love would be to keep control of our art, you know, to not sacrifice our music for being popular. And we can do that if we had, you know, some financial backers or some investors in us that you know, gave us money to get onto a big tour, or to go to, you know, Europe and tour for it, where we have a solid fan base.
So is there anything in the future with Seven Dustin? Are you guys gonna do some more touring with them, or?
Yeah, most likely we'll play some more shows with them.
Because that's an awesome placement for you guys. I think that you putting you guys in front of that band is you're gonna win over 90% of the audience right there.
Well, we played 4 dates with them, and those 4 shows were, okay, we can do this, we can make money and be successful, but the key is to be on the road and playing for 1,000 people every night.
Everything
had a good question for you, Jose, because I'm a singer, or at least I consider myself a singer. We're two different style of singer, but yours seems like it would be more taxing. Because I can't sing like you. There's no way that, you know, I could yell like that. It sounds like you're yelling, you know, the guttural yelling. And I noticed that on Ascension, you sang completely different than you did on like the Chemical Ride type.
Right. Yep.
It seems like you're kind of coming into your own now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You don't have to like prove that, you know.
I'm not trying so hard to have the biggest, deepest, growliest voice.
But man, it sounded kick-ass on Ascension. It really did. But I really like the direction you're in right now because, man, you know, in order to make it through a tour like you guys are talking about, I mean, come on, how do you do that? Because you're singing 5 nights a week.
Well, yeah, sometimes I think we did 7 shows in a row, 7 nights in a row. Was our longest period. That was the biggest concern for me when we were going on the tour. For the 2 weeks up to the tour, I kept on thinking to myself, like, how am I going to make it? I haven't been able to sing 3 shows in a row ever before in my life.
He was sick when we left tour, too.
And then, of course, the week
crazy.
we're leaving, I get sick. Yeah, like full-on blown, need antibiotic sick.
That was because of my doll I made of you.
That's right.
I was jabbing it in the throat as hard as I could when you guys were leaving.
The first 3
My
shows,
ass was hurting. I was wondering what you do with my doll.
yeah, the first 3 shows were miserable, but what it did was made me seriously think about how I was going to take care of my voice on the tour. So I didn't drink. I mean, there was no drinking. Like, towards the end of the tour, I started having, you know, like a post-show drink with Neil or something, but I didn't get drunk until I think the very last show of the tour, and that's when we were at Ribco. And so just every single night, get done, talk to the people, go back and try to sleep it off until the next day. And
it's not all champagne and titties, is it? It's
man, dude,
it's hard work, and you got to keep.
Yeah, for sure.
His warm up and his regimen and everything every night is kind of impressive. I mean, most people
What did you have to do, Tony?
I rehearse every night.
I get drunk every night. I'm party, yeah.
No.
Guitar players and drummers get away with everything. You know that your Tommy Lees and your Ulriches, they can do anything they want. You know, it's the singers are like, I have to go to bed, guys. You know, because I can't. I'm gonna have to like have dinner and rest. You know,
I feel bad about it too because a lot of the time I would force myself because I would know after a show, maybe I was doing 4 in a row or 5 in a row, I would know that my voice is starting to get screwed up and I just need to go to bed. So I would miss all of the post-show autographs and the meeting everybody, which is the literally the best part.
Absolutely. And would you agree, Jose, that talking, you know, over music or something at a show to people and talking is worse for your voice than actual singing? Every
pro that I ran into across the road basically told me that's the worst thing that you can do is try to talk over the music at the merch table to everybody. Absolutely. And especially right when you get done with your set because you need to warm your voice down and then just kind of take it easy for the rest of the night. So.
You know, even as a weekend warrior as myself, you know, because I get to sing probably every other weekend at the most. You know what I mean? The most I've sang in a row was 4 nights, and that was back in the Drop Hammer days, and one was a benefit, and one was a battle of the bands, and then we played Friday and Saturday at the Pigpen or something, you know, so I'm like, oh, this is big shit. I'm singing 4 nights in a row, man. I'm pro now, you know what I mean? And I remember the 4th night, I was getting up like this, and I was like, it ain't happening. But then something kicks in, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I can imagine once you're doing it, like you're doing it, you actually have to know what you're doing with your voice then.
And my voice got stronger than it's been my entire life. In that 1 month period on the road, I was able to just open my throat and my voice and hit these notes with ease that I would have had to strain for before, you know, like you learn how to sing a little bit more when you're doing it every single day.
That's what I mean. Your voice is so strong that to me it sounds. I think that all the good voices that I've ever liked that I listen to sound like they're not like it's not an easy thing to do. It sounds like the voice is just about to blow on it. You know what I mean? And that's what I've always liked about singers is they always sound like they're on the edge of losing it. You know what I mean? But it's controlled.
It's a mental thing for me. Every morning when I woke up, I would have to do. I would. It's funny. I would go like. And just make sure that I had my whole range.
Oh man!
And then I wouldn't talk for the rest of the day. I would just. Okay, I got it. I'm gonna rest it for the rest of the day.
Yeah, guess what I get to do, Jose? You know, I get to stand in the shower when I'm taking a shower before getting ready to play at the Purgatory or something. I'll be in the shower going, ah! healthy, I'm good. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, 'cause singers have the hardest job, I think. The most important thing in the band, we all know when we go see a band live, we pay for the ticket, and that singer doesn't perform the way that we want to hear them. It's like, God, come on, man. Because it's easy to play the drums and the guitar and do it every night. I mean, if you break a string, you get a new guitar.
I know this. Yeah.
But your voice is so personal, and when it starts to go, panic sets in.
Oh, dude, it's the worst, man. It's something I thought about as we played these shows every single night, and it's something I wanted to talk about. But when we were playing with Empire, the lead singer, DC, basically looked at me. He's like, dude, you know what? It doesn't matter. And this is something we've been told our whole career, but it didn't make sense to me until I was there doing it. It doesn't matter if there's 10 people or, 1,000 people. Every single one of those 10 people care about you as much as if it were 1,000, and you have to connect and perform for each of those 10 people just as if that it was a huge show. And if my voice would break or something in the past, I would be embarrassed by it. But I started learning that's part of rock and roll. It's not going to be perfect. It's not a pop show where it's all pre-recorded and everything. It's human. It's real. It's going to happen. After 10 shows in a row, when I'm cracking because I'm sick, or I try to hit a high note and I can't because I'm on my 6th show, and in my head it's the biggest deal in the world. But when you talk to everybody after the show, it's nowhere even on their minds. They didn't care. They didn't hear it. If they did hear it, they loved it.
That's a weird thing, because I've played horrible gigs before. People at the end of the night, oh man, you guys were kick ass, and I'm like, no, we weren't. And I get mad at that because I'm like, well, what show are you watching? And I almost take it personally because I know we take stock of every single thing that we do wrong.
Everything. You guys never, even when I was in the band, it never sounds quite good enough. Because every time I come see you guys, I would always make sure to tell you guys, it sounds good, it sounds good, it sounds good, so you don't worry about it. But
Tony's talking about the 80s tribute band I'm in, that we could do a bunch of 80s hair metal and stuff on the weekends, and that's my weekend warrior thing that I get to do. I get to strap on my tight pants and my eyeliner and go act like I'm Bon Jovi for a weekend and make my wife mad at me. And usually by about Tuesday we're happy again. But there's a lot of cougars out there that I can pull it off. Even, see this gray hair? I can still pull it off with this. I don't know how it happens, but it does.
But I think that's what makes you better. You are your own worst critic.
Absolutely.
So it drives you, even with having an ego, if you want to say that, it makes you what you are.
Continue to work hard to try to get better.
Correct.
You want to continue to get better.
You want to sing it like the record every time.
Yeah.
And when you can't, you keep stock of every little shortcoming that you do in the set, and you're like, damn it, I could have done that better. And then when you're moved on to the next crowd, you're thinking, well, that crowd did I give them 100%? Right. Did they get everything that I wanted to give? And and you're the same way, I'm sure, Tony, that sometimes you're doing leads, you're like, damn, I could have done that a lot better. Just some nights you're in it and you're on it.
Yeah.
And when you guys are in a position that you're in, where you're doing it night after night, you're not building up and waiting a month to play a show and can't wait to get on stage, you know what I mean? It's like the same thing. It's happening over and over. You guys are playing these songs night after night in front of different people, and you've got to act like it's the first time you've played it.
It actually, the last tour went fairly well because we actually started enjoying playing the songs even more when there's unfamiliar faces in front of you that know the words and are like, I'm in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
We've never been to New Hampshire, and there's a crowd full of people that know the words to your song. It's like, holy cow.
What's that like, to show up somewhere you don't hear? We get to play Ribco, Rascals, and bands could live in that area and then die there too.
Right.
I mean, they're not gonna, they'll maybe go to Cedar Rapids or somewhere else and try to play opening for Nationals or whatever it is in this little circuit. But to jump on a tour and do the East Coast, I mean, that's live or die out there. I mean, right. If you can make it, just like you say, if you can make it in the East Coast, you can make it anywhere, right?
Well, our secret to success has been that we gained a huge, not huge, but huge for us, online fan base by just putting every piece of music that we made out there for people to fall in love with. And then now 5 years later, hey, we're going on our first tour. So we've got fans in all of these cities that have been waiting for 5 years to come see a 3 Years Hollow show. And then you go and play for them, and they completely renew everything that you fell in love with about the band. And then you realize, we can do this. We can go and we can play shows for however many people decide to show up, and we'll keep playing music until no one shows up. some men leave their families for a year, 2 years at a time to go to war. You know, we're gone for a month at the most, and we're, you know, 6 states away. You know, we have phones, we have video. You know, you can FaceTime now, and.
But how many times have you sat on the bus and thought, man, what I wouldn't do to hold my little girl?
Oh, that's the only thing that we all looked at each other all the time, and we were like, man, you know, just to be with our kids or our family for, you know, just for a little while. But the reason why you press on is because you constantly tell everybody, and you want them to be strong and to fight for what they believe in and their dreams. And when you're given the opportunity to do it yourself, you know, you have to do it. And they're sacrificing, we're sacrificing, and you hope that it pays off.
It's not all just fun and games. You guys are on stage for an hour and a half.
Yeah, 40 minutes.
And you get to be the cool guys for a few hours a night, but the rest of the time, you're human beings that are
away
missing
from your families, you know, not making any money, sometimes not able to eat, you know. And you sacrifice everything just for the shot of your dream coming true.
Have you seen the movie Mission to Mars? There's a scene in there where they get to this big thing, and he says, I didn't come so many million miles to get 10 feet from the door and turn around. So, I mean, I don't know how... I'm sitting here going, you know what? If I don't go, if I don't do this, it'll eat me for the rest of my life.
All of the sacrifices and time that you've made.
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Far gone in fight. Stand up and face the you'll never fall this time. With every choice in your life.
Yeah, when people have like Chemical Riot tattooed on their butt, and they, you know, you kind of feel like, well, I think that we might be cool. You know,
when people started getting our logos tattooed on their arms and like crazy stuff like that, I mean, that was it, man.
That's a beautiful thing.
It's
and
awesome.
Just trust me on this. You'll never forget any of that stuff, and it will carry on forever for you.
Mm-hmm.
And from my position, I'm telling you, I've seen a dose of that. You're gonna get a lot more than me, but that little dose means everything.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And you guys are going to get it a ton, and I hope that you guys, and I really believe that you guys will, you know, still appreciate it for years and years and years. And I wish you guys the best, and I thank you very much for coming on my show.
Yes, thank you very much.
having us.
Welcome back anytime.
It's been awesome, man.
And man, yeah, I'm drunk, so let's get off the air here. Before I say,
I haven't sat anywhere for 6 hours before.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.